Welcome back, YouTube. Today we're reacting to tallest skyscrapers in the world. Alright? So, I'm trying to get a couple reactions in today's chat. But without further ado, let's get right into the video.
This is the
Always wanted to say that. Always wanted to say that.
Empire State Building, one of the most recognizable skyscrapers of the 20th century.
Empire State, okay, everybody knows this.
Finished in 1931, it
1931 is crazy.
Man-made structure in the world. Yet, if you stand it next to our last entries in this video, it seems pretty tiny by contrast. From a tower that has the largest clock on Earth to a building so mind-bogglingly tall it holds 7 world records, here is a 3D comparison.
How can it hold more world records than me? I got 0.
To top things off, we will
How's the
also
building have
feature
7?
3
It can't move.
proposed skyscrapers over 1,000 meters tall that could claim that title in the near future.
Okay, I'm liking this.
To start with, let's have a look at the famous Taipei 101, which is
Taipei.
500
That's how you say it, bro.
meters tall.
It's Taipei.
It might be the smallest on this list, but between 2004 and 2010, it was actually the tallest building in the world. Built to showcase the increasing wealth of Taiwan, it was given its name because it has a total of 101 levels. Uniquely, its design is based on what's considered the luckiest digit in Chinese culture, number 8. As a result, it has 8 of these main sections. To stop it from collapsing during one of Taiwan's periodic earthquakes, it has a device called a tuned mass damper in the upper part of the building.
I know this.
When the Taipei
I learned about this engineering class.
Sways during a seismic
Yeah, it
event,
moves side to
the
side.
resulting energy is absorbed by a gigantic
They have a water
suspended
one too, though.
steel
I feel like the
ball
water one
that
is better.
moves in the opposite direction. This counteracts any movement in the structure and also makes it more stable. Next up, we have the Willis Tower, which has a little more elevation than the Taipei
I did the water one as my
101
project.
at 527 meters. To make this clear, we rank these skyscrapers by their height to pinnacle, which is the distance from the ground floor to the highest point. According to an oft-repeated story, its unique design came about when Chief Structural Engineer Bruce Graham bunched some cigarettes in his hand, some higher than others, and then asked his colleague Fazlur Khan if it could be a stable design
Bonnie, thank you
for a
for the follow.
skyscraper. This iconic Chicago landmark was initially called the Sears Tower. You might know it by that name. This was because it was originally meant to be a huge apartment block for 10,000 employees working for the then booming department store chain Sears. But when the projected growth failed to materialize, the tower was instead converted into offices. In 2009, British firm Willis Group Holdings bought the rights to rename the much-loved tower, despite leasing only 3.5% of the available space. In response, over 100,000 Chicago residents signed various petitions to have the name changed back, but were ultimately unsuccessful.
They really wanted that name.
From Chicago to China, our third high achiever is the China Zun Tower in Beijing, also known as the CITIC Tower, which is only 1 meter taller than the Willis Tower at 528 meters.
You see what they're doing? They did that on purpose, bro. That's selfishness, bro. They said we're gonna be 1 meter taller, bro. Just 1 meter taller. Like, come on, you could have went 20 meters taller, bro.
It was commissioned by the Chinese state-owned investment company CITIC as the tallest
Maybe it was an
18
accident.
planned
Maybe it's an
towers
accident.
for the Beijing Central Business
But you don't
District.
build something that tall on accident, bro.
Its standout features have to be the flared bottom and top segments, which were
I like the
influenced
shape.
by the styles of traditional Chinese Zun vases. The shape is even more incredible considering that it's the only skyscraper of its height to exist in a magnitude 8 earthquake zone. As such, in the event that the Earth shakes, it's held in place by sturdy steel plating set inside the main walls. Furthermore, extra strength is also provided by fixed steel support columns at the corners or ends of the wall, as well as the steel braces in its core.
Smart. Oh, this one looks cool.
Standing at 530 meters, the Tianjin CTF Finance
See, this one went 2 meters over. Like, why are we competing with each other with a little meters and a little meters? If it was me, I'm going 5. Oh, they already passed 500. If it was me, I'm going 700 meters. Ain't no one touching me now. 700 meters, ain't no one touching me. We're going to the moon.
Was constructed by another Chinese conglomerate, Chow Tai Fook. It also has structural features designed to withstand earthquakes, such as its 8 sloping mega columns, which increase the stiffness
Like a
of its
rocket
frame.
ship.
This gives it a gently curving aerodynamic profile that also significantly helps against
This is a
side
hidden
winds.
rocket ship, bro.
Finished in
This thing gonna take
2019,
off.
it's the main attraction of the multi-purpose Tianjin Economic Technological Development Area.
Tianjin.
But this striking symbol of Chinese wealth may well be the last of its kind to be built. In 2021, Chinese authorities restricted build height to a maximum of 500 meters in large cities such as Tianjin. It was passed in response to a noticeable decline in the safety and quality of skyscrapers. This was caused by developers being more concerned with making an architectural statement than a practical, useful building.
Yeah, for real. Just making tall
Moving
buildings for no
swiftly
reason.
on to its older sister, the Guangzhou
Don't tell me this is
City
1 meter.
Finance
I was
Center
just
is
saying. Okay.
also 530 meters tall. This imposing 112-story superstructure was opened in 2016 as the mainstay of a planned urban
Wow, look at
expansion
that.
of Guangzhou. Its below-ground levels interconnect with the rest of the city,
Look at the other
doubling up
buildings next
as
to
a
it,
retail
though.
space and public transport hub. The building itself is encased with white glazed terracotta, which frames each of its window panels
Glazed.
to provide shade from the tropical sun. This traditional Chinese building material was chosen because it's not only self-cleaning and corrosion-resistant, but easily produced and shipped. It also takes far less energy to manufacture than aluminum, glass, or steel, for example.
Okay, saving energy, save
While
the planet.
materials
Okay.
are very important in the construction of a skyscraper, at scale, they're even crucial to entire economies and countries.
Hey, bro, I see your YouTube flag, bro. All right, I see it. And yes, I want one, bro. I'm jealous. Yes.
For example, the United States is in a constant battle with China about them. As part of a broader strategy, the United States tightened tariffs on Mexican steel and aluminum imports. This was done to avoid Chinese companies shipping through Mexico. This overview that we're looking at from today's sponsor is based on over 60 articles Ground News found covering this topic. Ground News gathers related
Whoa. I was like, isn't this happening today? It is. Bro, put me in the ad. All right, that's a little late skip, but W skip chat. Back to the video.
Next up,
Almost
we
got
have
me.
the One World Trade Center in New York, which has a height to tip of 546.2.
I know this one. Bro, they cheating though. You see this? This is cheating. You see how they got the tip?
As a replacement for the Twin Towers, it has an architectural height that equates to 1,776 feet, which commemorates the year that the American Declaration of Independence was signed. Fitting with its patriotic theme, the square base and tapered design
They
is
cheating,
meant
though.
to reference the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C.
They just put
And
that
in
on the top.
planning
They
stages,
cheating, bro.
It was originally going to be called the Freedom Tower. Kind of interestingly, pre-existing commuter trains that passed underneath the tower's area were still allowed to operate while it was being assembled. To avoid interference with these trains, the 4 subterranean levels had to snake their way over and between the metro lines. It just goes to show you that making a skyscraper is not so simple, which is something the team behind the 123-floor Lot World Tower in Seoul, South Korea know all too well.
Ooh.
It took a whopping 15 years just to get planning permission for this 555-meter high
Look at
mega
it.
project. It was commissioned by multinational
like a giant
corporation
bullet.
Lot as a residential and office space. The long delay was caused by Korean Air Force officials. They were worried about their military planes taking off and touching down at Seongnam Air Base. The airport is less than 6 kilometers south of the building, and they feared that a military plane could potentially crash into it. In the end, the issue was resolved when Lot agreed to pay for a redesign of the runways. They moved the direction of a runway at the airbase by a 3-degree angle, and it seems like that was enough to fix the issue.
That's not enough, bro. 3 degrees? I don't want my life built on 3 degrees, bro. Come on. But they wanted the building to be there so bad, they paid to... Nah, that's Bruce Wayne, bro. That gotta be Bruce Wayne in South Korea. I think that's what it says being built. That's the South Korea and Bruce Wayne. That's what the Bruce Wayne will do, bro. That's Bruce Wayne money, bro.
Measuring in
Say, all
editing,
right, let me move your thing out the way then. I'll pay for it.
Meant
I bet they're like, okay,
599
I guess,
meters,
bro.
The Ping An Finance Center in Shenzhen was also once considered a danger to passing airplanes. This was because it was originally meant to have been crowned by a spire that would have upped its height to a lofty 660
Yeah,
meters.
that's cheating. They
This
can't
was
do that,
eventually scrapped, though, because of concerns from local aviation authorities.
I like that.
It
That
would
looks better.
restrict the range of potential flight paths in and out of nearby Shenzhen Airport. But even without the spire, the Ping An Finance Company headquarters is so large that it can even be seen from certain places in Hong Kong to the south, such as Lantau Island.
You can
Most
see it from
notably, at the
somewhere,
front,
like,
it has the
yo,
biggest
that's crazy.
stainless steel facade in the world, which is comprised of 1,700 tons of stainless steel. This material protects it from the corrosion caused by Shenzhen's salty coastal atmosphere.
Look at that, chat.
Protects it from the corrosion caused.
Look at the buildings. This looks so cool. You know, this is how New York should really look. Because you know how New York had that one green area? It should have multiple like this. Doesn't this look nicer? Look at it. I feel like it's cleaner too. But they don't got no space anymore. Of course,
By Shenzhen's salty coastal atmosphere.
I like it. It looks nice.
Now let's kick it up a notch and look at our first mega tall skyscraper.
They said I'm bringing
Situated
it
in
back.
Saudi Arabia, the Abraj Al
Saudi
Bayt
Arabia.
clock tower is a gigantic 601 meters tall. It's the biggest of 7 luxury
Look at
skyscraper
it.
hotels and residences constructed for Muslims visiting Mecca. Controversially, it was built on the 220-year-old Ottoman-era Al-Ajyad fortress, which was demolished in 2002.
Wow.
In turn, this caused Turkey to accuse the Saudis of trying to destroy their heritage. These disputes aside, it holds the world record for having both the highest and largest clock on the Earth. At night,
Wow.
this solar-powered timekeeper is illuminated in green and white by 1 million LED lights. It's
1
also
million
tipped by a
LEDs?
golden crescent made of carbon fiber that weighs an
Those Amazon LEDs be like $30, bro. So imagine a million. How much they pay for that? They definitely got a deal from a company, of course, obviously. If you buy a million LEDs, you know, they slip you a little $5K off the total 100K price, you know?
astounding
what I'm
35
guessing.
metric tons. But of course, our journey to the world's tallest skyscraper doesn't end here.
But still, it's a lot of LEDs, bro.
We go even higher with the astonishing 632-meter Shanghai Tower. This glass
Shanghai.
colossus was planned as far back as 1990, following a government initiative to transform an underdeveloped industrial zone into a world-leading financial center. Located in
work?
the prestigious Lujiazui business district,
guessing it
it's
did. Look at the
perched
buildings.
on a 6-meter deep concrete platform that was created by continuously pouring concrete for 60 hours straight. When it first opened to the public in 2016, the Shanghai Tower was proclaimed as a place where tens of thousands of people would soon work. However,
Whoa,
this
look
took
at that
a
building with the
lot
circle.
longer than expected, as by mid-2017, only 60% of its office space had been leased, and only 33% had actually moved in. On top of that, large parts of the floor area weren't usable, since the remaining area accommodates the tower's glass skin. Potential renters were also put off by the fact that it took 2.5 years for a fire safety certificate to be issued. In the meantime, however, occupancy has grown to around 80%.
That's bad.
After opening its doors in January 2024, the Merdeka 118 in Kuala Lumpur is the youngest on our list. And
But this was not really tall, though, because it's the point.
Expanding
That other building is taller.
The
I'm going
spire
for
of
it.
this 679-meter-high Southeast Asian titan is nearly a quarter of its height. This is because it symbolizes the outstretched hand gesture made by the nation's first president when he proclaimed independence in 1957. Its multifaceted diamond shape also takes direct
I
inspiration
don't see the
from
representation.
traditional Malaysian songket patterns.
I like the vision.
Amazingly, in order to meet the
I like
build
what she was
height, a
thinking about it.
unique type of high-performance concrete had to be invented for the tower's core. Most crucially, it was developed with a high degree of elasticity to counteract high-altitude side winds. Despite its obvious
that's the
cultural
shape.
and
That's
historic
why it's the shape like that,
significance,
right?
this $1.5 billion project has been heavily criticized by
1.5
many
billion for a
Malaysians,
building?
who think that money would have been better spent on improving infrastructure.
I
and
think so
eradicating
too, man. Me too. Me
Before we get to
too.
the tallest skyscraper
I think so
in the world,
too.
If you're enjoying this video so
1.5
far,
billion.
why not subscribe? It helps us create more videos like this one in the future. So thanks a lot in advance for all of your support.
You're welcome, bro.
Now for the big one. Dwarfing all others at 828 meters tall.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Chat. This is what I'm talking about. Go big or go home. We going 800 meters. Now what? Come on.
The Burj Khalifa in Dubai
now
is
what?
the tallest building
Of course
ever.
it's Dubai. Ever.
This is just one of its impressive 7 world records. It was erected
7?
in response to the United Arab Emirates' desire to increase tourism so their economy would be less dependent on oil. The Burj Khalifa
It's working because now I want to go.
Thanks to the boundary-pushing concept of a buttressed core. This involves a tripod-shaped structure that has a strong hexagonal central core supporting 3 wings. Because each of the wings is structurally supported by the other 2, it's inherently stable. As it spirals up, every 7 floors, a slightly smaller tripod is stacked on top of the previous one.
Okay.
The Burj Khalifa is certainly one of
Ooh.
mankind's most impressive architectural achievements. But if the next 3 challengers are anything to go by, it may have to give up its title as the tallest building in the world in the near future.
Oh my
Enter
goodness.
the Obelisko Capital,
I can see Spider-Man going
a
up this.
concept skyscraper that, if built, will soar to the monumental height
Oh!
of 1,000 meters.
1,000!
In case you haven't heard, Egypt wants it to be the centerpiece of a new
Egypt.
government district east of Cairo, called the New Administrative Capital. Catchy name, right? The
I was gonna say it
design
looked
of
like a
this
pyramid.
beast, which is expected to have over 200
Look at
floors,
it.
will imitate the stone obelisks left behind by the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. It'll also be installed with a type of architectural blind called a louve, which will rotate in accordance with the angle of the sun to reduce heat. While announced in 2018, as of June 2024, the construction phase still hasn't begun on the Obelisko Capital,
Oh, they
which
haven't started?
still remains in the planning stage.
Okay. I mean, it's a big building, bro.
This can't be said, however, of the
This one's
Jeddah
alright.
Tower in Saudi Arabia, which supposedly resumed construction
Saudi want
last
another
year
one?
and may beat the Obelisko Capital
They got the
to
money.
become the first 1,000-meter skyscraper. Work on this desert giant actually started back in 2013.
Oh, they started though.
Only to be paused for 5 years, beginning in 2018.
Not gonna lie, if you
because of
start a skyscraper and you pause it for 5 years, we're gonna break it down and we're gonna restart, all right? Because I don't want any issues with the old pieces, you know, because it's been sitting and not connected to nothing. You know, when you leave pieces out, it's been in the way, it's been the rain, the weather, and all that. So we're gonna have to restart. Honestly,
purge
it is me.
initiated by the Saudi crown prince. One of the people arrested was Bakr bin Laden, stepbrother to the notorious terrorist Osama bin Laden and president of the project's then primary contractor, the Bin Laden
Stepbrother?
Group. Al-Walid bin Talal, the project's main investor, was also imprisoned in a luxury hotel before eventually being released.
This
So far,
Osama
about
bin Laden's
1/3 of the Jeddah
stepbrother?
Tower structure has already been constructed.
You
If
think he be
everything
throwing
goes
his
to
brother money
plan,
on the side?
It's hoped that it'll be done and dusted in the next 4 to 5 years. This might actually be a realistic time frame, following the
Wait,
recent
Osama
news
bin
from
Laden's not
July
alive, right,
of
chat?
this
My
year
bad, bro.
that a group of
That's
Saudi
on me, that's
companies
on me,
have agreed
that's on
to
me.
fund the project. Although it's
That's on me, that's on me.
confirmed, as of April 2024, it is thought that there will be a replacement for the main contractor. In light of these developments, humans may well be looking up at the first ever 1-kilometer skyscraper much sooner than originally thought.
Now I want Egypt to do it first, it'll
Apparently,
be
though,
cool.
that's still not high enough for the Saudis, who have recently expressed serious interest in the creation of a dimension-bending 2-kilometer tower that will be called the Rise.
2 kilometers,
Just to note,
the
the 3D model you
rise.
see here isn't the exact version they plan on building. It'll be the star of the North Pole Project, a mostly solar-powered, sustainable megacity that will extend
The
over
line,
much
right?
of northern Riyadh.
You talking about the
Dubbed
line?
The city
Oh,
of the
no, that's
future,
not it.
this metropolis will feature sci-fi air taxis and
Wow.
autonomous cars alongside integrated natural spaces and green technology.
I like
In
this.
2023, the world's finest architectural minds put forward their ideas in response to a design competition that had a hefty $1 million entry fee. It's one heck of a cover charge. In March 2024, it was announced that British firm Foster & Partner had won. Although no blueprints or build dates have been released yet, it's rumored that the Rise will have an unrivaled 678 floors.
What are you gonna
and
do
that
with those
it'll cost
floors? Like
approximately $5 billion.
$5 billion.
Do Do you think it's even possible to construct a 2-kilometer tall tower? And
I don't
what do you
know,
think is the
bro.
most interesting feature of all
Anything
the
is possible,
skyscrapers
bro.
we
Because
mentioned today?
before
Let us
we
know
weren't
your
thinking about
thoughts in the
1,000.
comments down
Now
below.
look, they thinking about
Thanks a lot for
2,000. So
watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.
I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you, chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning into the tallest skyscrapers in the world. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, and please check out my Twitch. I'm live on there. Y'all can get closer. We can get closer together. More followers, more love. Believe in God. God bless. Catch you on the next video. Peace.